you. Good morning, team. Welcome to day 145 of the 5 a.m. Squat Club. Now, I believe in CrossFit so much that I own an affiliate, and I've been doing it for 13 years. Now, if you can't get into an affiliate, that's okay. You can still get the value of this type of training right here with us every morning. Are you in? Let's change our lives together. First step before we move, we got to prime our thoughts before we prime our bodies. So what that looks like is we're going to find ourselves in our what we call our paleo chair squat position. What you want to do is feet underneath the hips. If you feel like you're going to fall backwards, grab yourself a counterbalance and hold on. And before we prime our bodies, we want to choose our first thoughts of the day. And if we do this every day, the more consistently we are, the more we can choose our thoughts consistently. So the first one is I am responsible. I am taking accountability for my life. If I'm going to get somewhere or if I'm not going to get there, it's because of my actions. It's because of my decisions. So if I'm not getting where I want to be, I'm not going to blame anybody else but myself. I'm going to take the action to get there. I am responsible for that. I will make time between stimulus and response. I want to give patience. I want to make sure that once something comes at me, I don't give a snappy, reactive response. I want to give something thoughtful and productive. Next is I have all I need to succeed today, and I'll focus on progress over perfection. If I only look at perfection, it's overwhelming, it's daunting, it's so easy to quit. Whereas if I have a bite-sized chunk that I can take, a step that I can take every day, the end goal is achievable. And then the last is I choose gratitude. I want to see the positive. I'm very good at seeing the faults and finding what's wrong and trying to work on that. But there's so much value in seeing the positive, because if you see the positive, you see more and you don't dwell on the negative. So I'm responsible. I will make time between stimulus and response. I have all I need to succeed today. We'll focus on progress over perfection. And I choose gratitude. And now we move. So let's get up. Let's start moving our bodies. So first thing we've been doing nowadays is just some burpees. So we're gonna get the blood flowing by getting down and getting up. Good morning, Yaroslav. Good morning, Jody. How we doing today? Day one of the new lack of push-ups. So let's get in our 20 burpees. If I got enough space here, we've got some dips today. As you can see, I've got my setup for the dips. Just let me know if you can't hear me, since I didn't have that mic set up originally. So we're gonna get our 20 burpees here. Move at a pace that makes sense for you. Just walk it down, walk it back up. If you're feeling super fresh and you wanna, go a little faster, then be my guest. Go for it. If I'll warn you now, we've got a little bit of a cold going around our house, so I apologize in advance if I'm sniffly this morning, but the whole family is kind of going through a little bit of a virus, whatever, so I apologize for that. Hopefully I don't have to, run to the bathroom or something. We'll do our best. Let's see, that's about, 7 or 8. That's 8. Yeah, 20. Get that blood flowing today. We've got, pistols and dips. Should be nice. Someday, I think next thing, to be honest, I've got a birthday coming up, and I got a gift card, I think, from Rogue coming. So I was waffling on what I was gonna get, what the next kind of most valuable piece of gear in here might be. I think I'm probably gonna get a set of rings. So I can do ring rows, ring dips, muscle up work, and then even pulling work on the rings. I think that's next step. So maybe the next time we do dips, they won't be on here, but still a great option for today. That's what we're gonna use. All right, we'll get into the next part of the warm-up. As you can see below, we're gonna go some knee raises, good mornings, lunges, burpees, and squats. And then any specific work we need for the dips we'll get done next. So follow along, with these movements if you'd like, or if you prefer, you've got a machine, a rower, a bike, or whatever, and you wanna hop on that. That's also a great option for getting the blood flowing. We do wanna get some range of motion through the joints that we're gonna be using, specifically all of them. I was gonna say the lower body ones, but we're using everything today. So we wanna warm it all up. Obviously the burpee is gonna be great for warming up the dip, getting that chest open, and then our lunges, squats, good mornings, and knee raises are gonna be good for warming up the pistols. And I'll talk a little bit here. If you've been following along, you know that I am an affiliate owner, a CrossFit affiliate owner. I have been since 2012. And I've been doing CrossFit since 2008, 2009. And I believe very strongly in the philosophy, in the theory, in the methodology. I believe in the anchors of, mechanics, consistency, then and only then intensity. I believe strongly in CrossFit, constantly varied functional movements, executed high intensity, so much that I own an affiliate. And it's what I've been doing for the last, almost 13 years professionally. So it's definitely what I believe most people should be doing if they want fitness. But it doesn't mean, it sounds like it's raining out there maybe. That would be amazing. It doesn't mean you need to go and find an affiliate. That would be fantastic, right? And I would suggest that if you can find an affiliate, that you should go. If you can afford it, if you can find one that's close enough, go to an affiliate, right? I believe very strongly in the power of the community and the power of coaching in person. But if you don't have access, right? Maybe you live rurally, or you're just in a town, it's not close, they don't have one. Doesn't mean you can't get the benefit of it. I think I've heard in the past that, it's unsafe to do CrossFit, especially alone, but I don't believe that. I believe that you are the type of person that's either going to take your movement quality seriously, and what that looks like in the affiliate is being coachable and listening to the cues and actually taking that advice and trying to improve as a result. But there's also people that, whether they're at home or they're in an affiliate, they don't care that much about it, right? They want to go fast, they want to get buff, whatever it is, and they don't see the value in focusing on the mechanics of the movement. So the way that I look at it is, you're not necessarily, yes, the resources are easier to get and faster and more accessible if you're in an affiliate for coaching. But if you're somebody who wants to move well, there are enough resources out there online that you can take that seriously whether you're in an affiliate or not. I think that's the point, is that if you care about movement, you care about movement whether you're at home or in an affiliate. And yes, it might be a little bit harder at home to do it yourself, but still very doable and still more valuable than the alternative, which would be not doing CrossFit. So that's why this exists. This is an option for those people who can't make it in. Maybe you don't have access, or maybe it's just, hey, every few days you don't go to the gym and you'd like to keep it up. Is this as good coaching as being one-on-one and me being able to make corrections? No. But is it the next best thing? Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, you can film yourself. I'm going to explain the movements. And you've got a little community here. One of the big things that is great about CrossFit is the community, is the accountability. And we got that here too. Okay, let's talk about next steps here. So what we got today, 2 movements, basically gymnastics. Jody says, you're my affiliate now, lol. I love it. So 2 movements, 2 gymnastics movements today, and then we've got handstand work afterwards. So a lot of gymnastics today. First movement is our dip. So this is a simple setup. I've got 2 chairs here. Everybody should be able to have a setup like this. Obviously, if you had a set of bars or rings, you could do these on those as well. The scaling for this is just going to be about foot support, right? So if I want a lot of scaling, I'm going to put my feet right underneath me. And I'm just going to use my legs to press me up. If I want to make it harder, I'm going to work my feet out in front. What I'm looking for here in terms of standards of motion or range of motion, movement patterns, is I want to get to a lockout at the top. These are too close together. Make sure that your chairs are wide enough apart that you can actually fit between them. But I want to start at a lockout. I want to get down to shoulder below the elbow. So this is kind of like my upper body squat. The shoulder is the hip, the elbow is the knee in this circumstance. And what I'm looking for is that the shoulder comes below the elbow. As you can see here, my shoulder is below the level of the elbow. And then I'm going to press back up to that lockout. Once again, if I want to make it more challenging, I can take my feet out in front, put more weight, in the shoulders. And that's a great option there. If you want, I mean, you can go crazy and build this up nice and high so your feet didn't have to come out in front and they could just hang. But that's over the top for me. So that's your option for the dip. You could always go with a push-up if for some reason you didn't like the dip. And if you didn't have chairs, I guess, like you could do this on a table, both arms behind you. It's just a lot more shoulder extension, but that's another option. Movement number 2 is a pistol. And I know that this is an intimidating one. It's a pretty high level one if you do with the full range of motion. But don't worry, we got options. So option number 1, we'll probably start kind of on the easier options and work our way up. Option number 1 is going to be a foot together squat. So you see I've got my feet touching as opposed to my regular squat stance. And step 1, option number 1 is going to be do this to a chair, right? So set your chair behind you, feet together, and then you're just going to reach the hips back, touch the chair, and stand. From there, work the chair down to a low height. And then your next step from there, if you can do it without the chair, is going to be full range with the feet touching. So still looking for hips below the knees, heels stay on the ground, and then out of there. If that's all pretty easy and you want to work on the single leg, then what I would do is I would suggest starting with a chair as well. So I'm going to set up, spread my toes, get a nice base of support, take one foot out in front, reach back till I touch the chair, and then stand. And then same idea, if that's too easy, take the bumper plate off. If that's too easy, get a stack of books. If that's too easy, take it out completely. The end goal here, and I'm gonna have to figure out what my plan is, but the end goal is a single leg squat. So one foot's gonna come out in front, hips are gonna come down and back till ideally the hip is below the knee, and then we're gonna get back out. On that, this is a movement that, there's a few movements in CrossFit that some would deem higher risk to the amount of benefit that comes from them. This is definitely one of those that, like, hey, if you don't have aspirations of finding your max fitness or potentially competing, this may not be a movement that you need. So if you're finding that the single leg is just like, I don't need this is too much, go with that foot together squat and don't worry about the single leg component. Okay, simple. We're doing 10 minutes. Jody says, gonna use my bench and dip in front, hands behind. That's the best I can do. Yeah, I mean, you could do 2 chairs as well. I find that it's a little bit nicer on the shoulders if it's not if it's not fully behind you, but they're both good options. Yaroslav, you got something set up? Missing Jason this morning. Where you at, Jason? Concerned. We got Momentum Monday today, this morning at 6. We're gonna make sure we're on time here today. Okay, so let's talk about getting into this workout. All right, so as usual, going 10 minutes. We're gonna alternate the two movements: dips on the even, pistols on the odd. Dips, I'm gonna aim maybe for, I don't know, 8 to 10 or so. You know, these are kind of medium difficulty, but if they're super hard, you can go less reps. And then the pistols, to be honest, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to do 5 on one side and then switch. You could alternate legs, or obviously if you're going the double leg together, just get a set that's challenging but not maximal so that we can keep it for those 5 sets and potentially, you know, increase the work as we go. Okay. Let's get in some music here. And we're going 10 minutes, alternating for those 10. All right, 10 seconds, team. We'll start with the dips. Let's do it. Get some tunes on there. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that stack, taking big swings, jam to the bat, put me in the ring,
okay, that's one set of dips, that's not bad.
And I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel?
So if you're like me and you've got one leg that's better at the pistols than the other, I'm gonna start on the weaker leg. That way I can ensure that I can get the same number on the other. So I'm gonna aim maybe 5, and I'm not used to doing this same leg, so balance will be challenging, and we'll see if we fall over. 3, 2, 1. Focus on keeping the knee in line with the foot. If you're going the pistol, saying that. You. Whoop.
They wanna say my name, but they hold me back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't playing no games.
Wow, those are hard.
And I don't feel no shame. It's a mood you lack. I go crazy. Nah, I ain't lazy. Track
holy.
after track, I work on the
Could warm those up a little more, probably.
The jack, right as fuel got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath. I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every. If
you haven't done those in a while, you forget how much just the opposite leg has to work just to hold that position. 10 seconds. Back to dips. 5, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, shoulders are gonna get a little pump today with that handstands. Okay, pistols again. In 15. So far, no snot on my face. That's pretty good. For that. 5. Remember, start on the weak side if you want. 2, 1. Go ahead.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, win the game, Win it life, have no shame. There's no time for the pain. Live the grind.
All right side.
In my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb. The only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact. Taking big swings, put your hand to the bat. Put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag. Cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I take a red pill. I know life's short, so I wanna live real. But
I think if you think that you need external load to work your legs, that is not true. Those are rough. 10 seconds. Sorry about the sniffling. 5 dips. 3, 2, 1.
they wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these shit I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said.
Third set of pistols coming up. 10. Three, 2, 1. Spread those toes.
How's it supposed to feel?
Woo! Come on, leg. Wow, I love those. Oh, wow. We'll try 6s on the next round. We'll see. So far, so good, team. 6 down, 4 to go. I like having the chairs here. Take a seat. 5, 3, 2, 1. Dips.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it light, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, put your hand to the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a
more
bag,
sets of
'cause I sing
pistols.
what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I
Dog's got
got
a
time
golf
to
ball.
feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how is it supposed to feel?
10 seconds. Pistols. 5, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they hold it back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't playing no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these shit I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be
Wow,
led.
that burns. 10. Last set of dips.
Every word that I've said.
3, 2, 1. Stop it. Stop, stop. Stop.
How's it supposed to feel?
10. Last set of pistols. Stop it, Mabel. Go for it. Last set. Mabel.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame.
7. Ah, my butt.
Live the grind,
Fire.
could change.
Mabel, no.
Pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win at life. I never miss that stack, taking big swings, jam to the bat. Put me in the ring, we'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill. I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel?
Ah. Wow. There we go. Take a minute, team. Breathe. Walking around. Yaroslav. Awesome workout. See you tomorrow. Have to run. Enjoy your workout at the gym, Yaroslav. Stop it, Maple. Oh my God, dog. Can you stop that, please? Great work. Those were real serious by the end. All right, Jody, you and me. Wow, that was good. I wasn't expecting super high intensity there, just because, you know, not too much volume, nothing too heavy, but those pistols were very good for getting the heart rate up. Woo. Take a minute here before we get into our handstand work. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hey, you can be too much with the licking, okay? Whew. Jody says, you and me, yep. That made me sweat. I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised too. What did you do for the pistols, Jody? You do to a seat, or do you have full range, or what does that look like? All right, let's talk about our handstands. So the format for this will likely change every week, right? So we'll have handstands on Monday, but what we do within that session is going to change. And what I'm thinking is we'll do each of these blocks, you know, this current format. And by the way, this is all in the free school group. I posted the programming there. We can chat about it. So if you're not part of the free school group yet, please do that. If you haven't pressed the like button, do that as well. So, you know, we'll probably do at least 6 weeks or so of this. So we get 6 sessions of each component, so we can make sure that we make some progress on it. So Jody says single leg to a 13-inch ottoman. Fantastic. And did you do all the same leg first and then switch, or did you alternate? So let's do this. We're going to do a little bit of prep for the handstand. I might put on my hat. And then what we'll do is I'm thinking we're going to do another EMOM. That'll probably be the format for a lot of these guys. And what I'm thinking is for the first 5 minutes, we're just going to do a handstand hold. So maybe, you know, 20 seconds or 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And then I think what we'll do is we'll take a little rest. 5 left, 5 right. I love that. And then we'll do a little bit of handstand push up at the end, maybe 1 set. I think that might be kind of a fun way to do it. Do a little bit of work and then kind of do a test set at the end. So I'm just gonna switch up my mic here. Give me a moment. If you need to set up, you know, a mat or anything up against the wall for your handstand, you can do that. All right, so let's chat here. What I'm going to do is basically just kick up to a handstand and hang out there. But let's chat about options. If you don't have a kick up to a handstand, but you're not uncomfortable getting upside down, a wall walk is a good option. So basically you'll start on the floor, come up to a down dog, and basically you're just walking your feet up the wall. So that would be an option right there, just to hang out one step up, trying to get the body in line with the legs. Or you could get all the way to vertical and hang out there, trying to keep everything tight without the belly going onto the wall. Nice tight position. So if kicking up to the handstand is unrealistic, that's a good option. If being upside down in a handstand is not there yet, right? If you're not at that level, another option would just be a downward dog. So hips are high. You can even come onto the toes in order to press the weight forward into the hands and shoulders, and get more weight upside down in essence. And then obviously if you feel comfortable enough kicking into a handstand, you can go with that option. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go every minute on the minute for 5 for 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, which might be a lot. You may want to go 20 and 40. And then we'll take a little break and then do one set of handstand push-ups. And I'll give some options for that as well. So if we're feeling ready, we're gonna keep the ball rolling here so that we can be done by our Momentum Monday at 6. What was I going over here to get? I think I was gonna blow my nose, but forget that. Okay. So Jody, it's you and me. Let's get some handstands in here. All right, ready? 10 seconds. I think that's the same song we just listened to, eh? We're on 2, 1, go ahead. You'll be able to see the clock there. Maybe we'll do 20 seconds on the first one, just to warm it up a little bit. That's 11. You can shift side to side. You can even do some scat push-ups. Sag in, press out. That's 22, 3, 4. Let's go 25. Okay, so maybe we'll go 30 on the subsequent ones. That's probably realistic. Jason says, have a great week, y'all. Are you doing handstands with us? Jason, where you at? We missed you this morning, I feel like. Also, Momentum Monday at 6. You're running away now. 8, 9, 10. I think I'm gonna go 30 for the subsequent ones here. Jason, I wanna hear 3, 2, 1. We'll go 30 here, nice and active press. You don't wanna sag. Keep pressing hard, keep the abs on, keep the butt squeezed. Stay tight, keep pressing. Try 30 seconds here. It's 15. Like all the stuff is gonna come into my nose. 5, 3, 2, 1. There's 2 down. Jason, oh, right. Jason says, on my way to the airport to travel to Edmonton for the week. Took a stop on the side of the road for the message. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. Have fun with your boy and your grandson. Have a great trip, man. Third set. 5, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Keep pressing hard. Right, really just focus on putting your feet towards the ceiling and pressing as far away from the floor as you can. Keep pressing hard, keep pressing hard. Shoulders are starting to get tired now. It's 20. Keep working, keep squeezing the butt, try to avoid arching the back. It's 30. Come on down. That's 3 down. Yeah, traps and shoulders are starting to burn a little bit. Woo! 2 more. Then we'll take a little break before we, that max set after this might be a challenge. All right, we're back in. 3, 2, 1. It's getting harder. Keep working, keep pressing, keep breathing. 20. Oh. Yeah, this is getting tough. Very real. 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. Oh. Yeah, we'll definitely need a little stretch out after that before we do our handstand push-ups. 15 seconds. Yeah, that's starting to get real up there. At some point, this will be a handstand, like a freestanding handstand practice too, but I don't know how safe that'll be in here. 2, 1. No shit. This is the last one. Feel free to hold on a little longer if you want. That's 20. That's 30. Wow. That right shoulder really freaked out in there. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll rest until maybe the 9th or 10th minute here. And then we're gonna go 1 set, as many as you can get, handstand push-ups. So what I'll say is if you don't have a strict handstand push-up, like from this position, options could be, you know, you do a minute of wall walks, that's an option, or get yourself in that downward dog position, bring the head forward and down, touch the floor, and then press out. That's a good option. Or, I mean, you could even get a barbell or some dumbbells and just press. So choose your option, and at the 9-minute mark, or 10, we'll see. Just depending on how long that set takes. I guess it doesn't matter. We're gonna do 1 set, as many reps as you can, and we'll probably end up kind of retesting this, seeing if we can increase on it as we go. So right now you're just thinking rest and thinking about potentially which position you're gonna use. If another option, if the downward dog is too easy and you wanna make it a little more vertical, elevate the feet, get as vertical as you can, same idea, head down and forwards, and then up and back. As long as you're getting into that, you know, arm in line, that's not the position, I like arm in line with the body position, that's the goal. Standing shoulder press for Jody, that's good. As long as Jody, the goal will be use that same weight every week to see how we progress in terms of capacity for that. Another minute 15. Those shoulders relax a little bit. There's sweat on the wall. How did I do that? Oh well, it happens. So you can start thinking about, hey, what's a realistic goal? We're gonna go in 1 minute. I mean, you could think leave 1 in the tank so that, you know, we can kind of progress from there next week, but up to you. You could go to complete failure. Up to you. This will be good. I'm gonna aim for, I don't know, at least 10 will be the goal, let's say. We'll see. We'll see. 30 seconds. I don't know if it was actually raining, but it sounded like it. Let's see if we can hear it. Looks like it might be a little wet out there. All right, one set, 10 seconds. Three, two, one. I'll take it. I'll take 10. That works. Good for day one. All right, Jody, keep it up. Finish up your set. I guess the detriment of potentially choosing a lighter weight is you might get a whole lot more reps, which is good still. Get a good pump in there. Oh, you're still counting. All right. Okay. Good job, good job. Stretch it out a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go, let's get in a little quad stretch here. Or, yeah, let's do it on the wall. So we're gonna go with the couch stretch. Because I got my mat out here. What I'm looking at is knee on the floor, shin up the wall. If you are very flexible, bring that knee right into the wall. If you're not, this can even be done with the shin on the floor. What you're gonna do from there is step out in front with the opposite leg and then send the hips forwards a little bit. And you're gonna feel, well, you're gonna feel a couple things potentially. You're gonna feel either the hamstring on that front leg or the hip flexor on the back leg. If you want a little more quad, lift the chest and you'll feel a little more quad on that, on the back leg there. And so, you know, we'll talk a little bit more about the idea of doing CrossFit at home. You know, the things that I like about CrossFit, you know, the theory itself is it makes sense, right? You're not training for aesthetics. You're always changing it up so that the body is always having to adapt. And there's intensity, and intensity is the most important variable for maximizing your fitness bang for buck. So the effectiveness, efficiency of the methodology is better than anything I've found. But at the same time, there's another extra benefit that, you know, for some people is more than the benefit of the exercise itself, and that's the community. That's that group of like-minded individuals that are striving for improvement, and they're doing it together. And what that does is it pushes you forward, right? You see people who are trying to become better versions of themselves, and not only wishing for it, not only hoping for it, but they're actually putting in the work. So you surround yourself, you know, I'm sure you've heard that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time. That's not how that works. Some of the people you spend the most time with. And if you surround yourself with people who are on the same path as you, on the same track with the same goals, you know, especially if some of them are ahead, then that's going to pull you forward far faster than if you don't have that. That also, you know, aside from pushing you, is going to hold you accountable, because that community ends up being a group of people who are connected through, I'm going to call it shared suffering, And as a result, like they create tight friendships, tight bonds that holds them together through the workouts, but also through life. So the benefits are multiple. Can't talk today. Multiple for this methodology and for the way that it's administered. So I'll always say, if you can find an affiliate, if you can get in there, if you can find a place where they're doing CrossFit in a group, get there. Because if you're coming from a place of not doing that, you're gonna be amazed at the benefit, self and from the community. But if you can't, and I think this is where it's at, is you don't just decide, well, because I can't get to an affiliate, I shouldn't do this methodology, that I should instead go and do some curls and kickbacks and basically become a bodybuilder. That's not the right way. I think people might say that. Let's get into one more stretch here. We're just gonna cross the hip. I'm gonna get one leg across the other and just try to sit up tall. Open up that hip a little bit. Where's I going? Yeah, people think that, that because of the complexity of some of the movements, that if I can't, have a qualified coach, that I shouldn't do them at all. And it's like, I don't see it that way. Coach Glassman, the founder of CrossFit, used to say, doing CrossFit wrong is still far better than not doing CrossFit at all, right? And he would say that there used to be talk about how there were the boogeyman affiliates, right? Affiliates where they weren't taking technique seriously, or they weren't coaching as well, or whatever. And he would always say, like, it doesn't exist, first of all. And second, even if it does, those people are still getting more benefit than if they were doing something else. So, ouch. So yes, it can be done at home, and it can be done better. Sorry, not, I don't necessarily mean to say better than an affiliate, but I mean, I guess it could. But I mean better than, excuse me. I don't remember what I was meaning when I was saying by better than, but it can be done very well. It can be done better than, there's a spectrum of how well it can be done at home, right? You can just go through the motions and not take your technique seriously, and, not take your programming seriously and do the same thing over and over again and not really have it be CrossFit. Or, you can film yourself. You can make sure that you're always improving your technique. You can, have somebody watch you virtually. You can take that stuff seriously, even at home, and still make fantastic progress with your technique, with your capacity, and with your fitness. Pulsing Iron, good morning. Hello, Adam, have a good one. Can't stay this time. Believing some good vibes and support. Boom. Keep it clean, Max. Thanks for stopping by, man. If you haven't checked out Pulsing Iron, you can go blow your mind with the amount of volume that guy does. Crazy stuff. All right, let's get out of that one. It's a pretty good stretch. We'll maybe get into one more while we talk about our homework. Boom. All right, Jody, you know the drill. You know it. Now it's homework time. For those of us in the community, that's going to be our Momentum Monday. We're going to get together, talk about breaking down our goals. We're going to go through our perfect day exercise. I think I'm going to come up with another name for the other one. Perfect day, and then like worst day exercise. What don't you want in your life, and how do you break that down to ensure that that's not where you're going? But this is the time where I'm going to get into a shoulder stretch. We'll get into one more stretch here. We'll just go arms up the wall and drop the chest there. Just open up the shoulders. So if you're looking to change, your fitness and your health is one component, but what you do for the rest of your day and for the rest of your life, and how you impact the world, and what your purpose on this planet is, you want to make sure that that's not getting left behind and neglected. So as part of what we do, we carve out an hour. All right, we're coming up on 6 o'clock here. Excuse me. What I suggest is from 6 to 7 or more, you know, depending on when your kids wake up or when the rest of your family gets up and needs your attention, but that you take that hour and you dedicate it, focused, uninterrupted, towards that thing. Because if you break it down into its daily steps and then just add those up, walk them out day after day, the results are inevitable. Inevitable. Jody, I got 20 reps at 35. Wrote up 5-week track on my whiteboard. 5 weeks for the handstand specifically, Jody. I like it. And you know, Jody, I'm going to keep trying to nag you to get into that free school group, because that's where we're going to be talking about programming, and I'd like your input. You are currently our most consistent. So I love the feedback. You know, I'd appreciate a good chat going in there. So as we get more people going, hopefully that will turn up. And let's see, what do we got tomorrow before we run off here? Tomorrow's Tuesday. Let us see here. We've got, oh yeah. Nervous about that one. So tomorrow is sandbag cleans. We're going to talk about homesteading a little bit. Morning routine for homesteaders, and it'll be all about that heavy sandbag. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a rough one. Tomorrow will be nerve-wracking. And then after the sandbag, we've got single leg, which is kind of what we did today, but it's not going to be squats. So we've got a good one tomorrow, but I am nervous, to be honest. That sandbag is going to be, tomorrow will be higher cardio than today for sure. Yes, you said we will do for 5 weeks, right? Yeah, it'll probably be 6. That being said, I'm not always good at organizing that, but it will be a long enough period that we can measure some progress. Okay. Sandbags tomorrow, but not the same as sandbag Saturday. We're going to be moving that thing around for a little bit more intensity tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining. Those of you that are here, those of you on the replay, enjoy. That's that. See you tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock at our new time. Hopefully this is a good time for y'all. Felt like I got so much sleep last night, that extra 10 minutes. Woo! Fantastic. All right, team. We'll see you tomorrow, 5 a.m.